Good morning, y'all. It's a beautiful day in Saskatchewan. The sun is shining. You can see the sun between the trees. So this is day 3 of our portal opening. So they tell us there's a portal opening. So any opportunity we have that we can embark on opening up our spiritual journey, we're going to jump on it, right? Well, those of us that are awakened or desire to be awakened, we want that fulfillment that our soul seeks. We want to progress. We want to not only help ourselves, but help others and share knowledge and wisdom. So a lot of people are having a difficult time right now because of the transition. Not only are there a lot of extenuating circumstances across the world, but it's reverberating in our personal lives, and it's affecting us all on a micro level. So, I was just thinking this morning, how do we tap into the truth? Because we can all say, oh, that's the truth, it's the facts, right? It's the facts. And we got fact checkers checking our facts. So who really is the authority on that, on truth? I think what it all comes down to is we have our personal truth, right? So on a personal level, our beliefs and what we believe and what we've, obviously what we've experienced in our lives brings us to these summations of what we believe or what we believe in on a personal level. And then we've got that extension out into community and nations. And so there's a vibe that comes with that, that's associated with groups. When groups come together, it even says in scripture, wherever 2 or more are gathered in my name, there am I. Meaning, there is the truth. So as we grow in numbers, in our beliefs, and we're seeing that big time in people's divisions in this whole scenario, some believing for and some believing against the narrative. So it really does come down to, part of it is, of course, is back to the base of our personal beliefs. But then we can also grow. We can also grow in our community beliefs. So we're sharing knowledge, we're sharing information, we're being shown new evidence, we're seeing with our own eyes harm, and we're seeing kindness. So, then we have something to weigh the other against. That's called contrast, right? So contrast is often necessary because it gives us something to weigh the other against. So when we're being told something, if we're shown something the complete opposite, whether it's visually or we're told or we read something, whatever way the information comes in, then we now can make another assessment and summarize what we believe. And then I want to jump to the one that's the most important, is universal truth. And that is the truth of the divine. And whatever your belief system is, we all know there's something else out there. I mean, even if we don't believe spiritually in a religiosity or a religion or a belief system that's greater than, we know that there are planets out there in the universe, and there are stars in the sky at night, and so we know that there is a greater cosmos out there. So I think we have to get to the point where we don't dispute that anymore, and we don't argue it. We just understand that it is there, and we accept it in whatever form our level of acceptance can allow. So what does that mean when we're talking about universal truth? The thing here is that, they're of a different dimension. There's angels there, there's people that have passed on there, there's, the divine, God source. They obviously have a bird's eye view that we don't, right? If we're standing in the middle of a forest and there's a bear, a kilometer away, we can't see that. But if we were up in an airplane, or we were, an angel in the divine, of course we can see that, right? Because looking down, we have a greater expansion of space that we can, like an area that we can see from. And so any of us that have been in a plane before, we can understand that because you're up higher, obviously, right? So how do we connect that energy with our very core of who we are? Well, first of all, we have to be open. We have to be open to it. We have to be open to receive possibility and be willing to understand and grow beyond where we are, because often we're fixed where we are in our beliefs. So we want to have the ability, we want to allow ourselves the ability to expand and to grow into a greater expansion of knowledge. And knowledge is going to lead us to wisdom, right? Because wisdom is a connection with the divine. It's being conscious of greater knowledge, greater wisdom in the cosmos. So when our soul being is connected, we're going to be able to make, we could say decisions, but that isn't always true, right? Because we're in the human condition, and so we're always learning, and we're always making poor decisions or always often making poor decisions at times, but that's part of our learning experience and part of our growth. So it's really important for us to include some kind of a connection in consciousness. So whether that's, sitting and meditating like a monk would, or a guru would, dedicating some time in the mornings. If you don't have time in the morning, dedicating some time throughout the day. On your lunch break, if you're at work, you shut your door, turn the lights down, throw some soft music on or some meditative music and just chill and allow your spirit to connect with that universal intelligence. They call it infinite intelligence, right? Because it's never ending, it's ongoing, it's infinite. And if you can't find time during the day, then, maybe at the end of the day, you're going to need to debrief because you've had a long day. Whatever that is, if you were home with the kids and they were running around screaming and playing, or whether you were at the office, or whether you were just, your life is at a point where it feels meaningless because you're not working and you're not doing anything with your life, right, that you want to be doing. So it's an excellent time then to, again, I think putting on the vibrations of Hertz videos is really important because it helps to calm our mind, and it taps into our mind at the third eye chakra. So it allows that, I don't know if you are familiar, the third eye chakra is right here, and that is really what opens up our mind. It's like a little brain inside your brain, right? And that's the the chakra that connects us to consciousness with infinite intelligence. So that can help us to grow beyond, beyond our understanding, no matter what age we are. If we look at children, they're so pure and they're so wise sometimes. They come out with the darndest things, but they're speaking truth because they're speaking from their soul. It's living in the world that conditions us and that changes us and that dummies our connection, dummies us up, dummies up that connection. Medication can do that to us. Being in an abusive relationship can do that to us. Looking at what's going on in the trauma across the world right now, being traumatized by isolation and fear, all of that changes our brain chemistry. So it's really important that we work every day on ourselves. Like I'm going for a walk today in the sunshine just to get out, just to change my focus, to change my perspective. So, if you work out or you jog or you play tennis, you want to put your body into action, into movement, because that helps us to shake things up, but also to help us ground as well. As I talked about the other day, like, look at this beautiful grass, Just come and lay on the grass and just, when was the last time you did that? Laid on the grass and looked up at the sky, at the clouds, and just were yourself, just spending time with yourself. It's amazingly healing. So we have to remember to do that. So really, I guess in summary today, keep on keeping on, and remember we are in transition and we're in transformation, and it's okay because we're all learning and we're all helping each other. And this is how we come into who we truly are and what we truly believe in. And it's amazing the ground that we can cover as far as developing our spirit into who we really are. And what I mean by that is, that we're doing what matters to us in life. We're fulfilling our destiny. We're leaving that job that isn't working for us anymore, or we are becoming more creative. There's just, like they say, the sky's the limit and the world is our oyster. And so it's just a matter of, yes, there's a lot of awful things going on right now, terror and fear, and it's horrible to see what human beings are doing to other human beings right now. But we can also, on the flip side of that, look at the beauty that's happening, look at the growth that's happening. When we do tap in, like I said, to our third eye and to consciousness, we are going to find that we feel more positive. And when we all do that, if we all do our part in that, then we're going to obviously raise the vibration of ourselves, but also, our communities and the world. Because, when we pray, when we meditate, and we sing and we dance and we just live, right? We live and we enjoy life. We are now changing the dynamics of the earth. We are changing the vibration. And all of this is what's leading us into rising up through, from the third dimension where we now live, up through the fourth dimension of change and, pulling information in and trying new things and putting aside what is no longer working for us, for humanity. And we are now moving with the earth into the fifth dimension. And that's where we're going to find, you may even find that, you're eating differently. I know I have found that I'm eating less meat, I'm eating lighter meals, I'm eating less often. And that is part of a sign that our bodies are becoming lighter, because we're slowly, as the earth, and as the embodiment of energy, we are slowly becoming lighter, and we're changing. And this is going to take time. And it may sound kind of crazy to you, but I've talked to a lot of people, and there's a lot of people going through changes in their bodies. And so we're definitely seeing something happen anyway, right? So, we want to move into that fifth dimension where we're going to be wiser. We're going to be lighter with our energy. We're going to be more benevolent, because we're not going to be catty and power hungry. We can all exist together, all doing our own part, without all of the negative aspects of jealousy and anger and all those lower level feelings and emotions that come out. We come to realize we're more grounded in ourselves, so we're happier. And so all we want to do then is to share that happiness and to help each other along. So that's it for today, and we'll see you tomorrow on day 4, and have a great one.